Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Let's get started. And our first one comes from TrueCraft5520. Am I the beehole for telling my stepmother to go F herself in public when she suggested talking about my late mom is disrespectful to her? Hey Reddit, I'm a 15-year-old female, dealing with some family stuff. I need some help. My parents divorced about 9 years ago, and about 5 years ago, my mom and my brother, 1 year older than me, passed away in an accident. My dad, a 39-year-old male, married Sarah, a 35-year-old female, when I was 9, so about a year before my mom and brother died. Sarah is the jealous type. She doesn't like it when she hears people talk about my mom or brother, and she's removed all traces of my mom and brother from the house, everywhere except my room. It became worse after my mom and brother died. And then, much worse, ever since she became pregnant, and my little sister was born. She believes it's time for us to move on, and focus on the family we have, rather than the one we lost. We fight a lot in the house, but we had a public fight yesterday. We were visiting my grandparents, and I was talking to my aunt, dad's sister, who really liked my mom. And she was telling me about a nice memory of when my mom was pregnant with my brother. We were talking quietly, so nobody except me, my aunt, and cousin were a part of the conversation. But Sarah inserted herself and suggested that it's disrespectful to her to talk about my dad's ex during an event when she's present. I said, Sarah, keep walking. It's not about you. But she took me to a corner and said, it's our family policy to present a united front. And she's my dad's wife now, with a baby, and we're not to mention his previous wife or son. I snapped and said you can't erase them no matter how much you try, and to go F yourself. It was loud, so everyone heard. She also shouted that I should show her some respect. I showed her the middle finger, and said you're pathetic and jealous of people who died years ago, and walked away. Last night, my dad tried to mediate and suggest we both did wrong, and should apologize to each other and move on, and neither of us are willing to do that. My dad says I was wrong to escalate in public and say those things, and she was wrong to push me in public. He believes we should have discussed the matter later as a family. Sarah says she's tired of living in my mom's shadow, and family don't love her like they did my mom. Also says her daughter also lives in the shadow of my brother and doesn't have her own identity. I am tired of her behavior and will not put up with it anymore. People who were there generally took my side though. I have support of both grandparents, aunt, and several cousins, who all told me they didn't know she was doing this to me and won't be inviting her to any events again. She has the support of my uncle's new wife, who also believes the family, like my uncle's ex, is a better wife. So, after talking to my dad, I'm wondering if I was the beehole for not controlling my temper, and maybe I could have avoided a public conflict, which now everyone knows about. Hi OP, you are not the beehole, your stepmom's the beehole, your dad's also a beehole. Your stepmom's the most biggest beehole too though. What's with these ghoulish people coming into people's lives and telling them the people they love that have passed on are now useless and worthless and don't think about them? I'm their replacement. Who ever thought that never goes well? That's disrespectful. Why are you disrespecting the person they love? You're trying to make a united family, but you're doing things that you know piss off the person you're trying to make a family with. And your stepmom sounds like a child, over here erasing memories and stuff like that. The person's dead. She has nothing to worry about. It's not like your mom is going to come and get your dad back or anything like that. Oh, and on to the dad. Why is he so weak? Why is he not protecting his daughter from this woman who's being rude and disrespectful and like manipulative to his daughter, erasing her mother, erasing her brother that died? Like, what the hell, man? What's up with these weak dudes getting these terrible women, like remarrying these terrible women? Ugh. But OP, my advice to you, I don't blame you. You can only push someone so far until they pop or snap. But it sounds like you got great grandparents and cousins who have your back. If things escalate, I think you might have to go live with them because it sounds like she just wants to get rid of everything and control your dad and control you. I would have fought back too if I was in your place. No one's going to make me forget about the person I love. No, not going to happen. So you were not the beehole in my eyes, OP. Oh, sorry, and also about that part where your dad's saying you were in the wrong. You were not in the wrong. Like I said, she was pushing you. All she had to do was shut up and stay out of the conversation. She started it. You ended it. So no, your dad is wrong. You have nothing to apologize for. Your stepmom has a lot to do to make up to you, and I don't think she will, judging by the way she acts to a child. And our next one comes from Successful Detail 32-1. Am I the beehole for refusing to make my half-sister look better on her wedding day by showing up? My half-sister and I share a mom. She's 9 years older than me, a 17-year-old female. Her dad died when she was 5. Mom remarried to my dad when she was 8 and got pregnant with me straight away. Until I was 10, I thought she was the best person ever, and I wanted us to have a relationship like my friends had with their siblings, but she rejected me as not being her real sister from day one. She also rejects my dad as anything other than my mom's F-buddy, and she has called him that to his face, and in front of other people. My dad always lets it slide, and my mom will tell her, we're a family, to which my half-sister will say she's family, but my dad and I are not. When I was 6, my brother was stillborn. When my mom was about 6 months pregnant with him, she had grandma come over to watch my half-sister and me while she was in the hospital, and we were told something happened to our brother. I was really upset because I had been so excited and wanted to comfort from my half-sister. She told me to grow the F up and to stay away from her. She also told me it was a shame that something didn't happen when my mom was expecting me. Grandma was horrified and told her she would regret saying that, but my half-sister told her she wouldn't regret saying that about someone she didn't love. Jesus Christ, what a little monster, man. Sorry for breaking reading character, I guess, but jeez. The breaking point was that Christmas when I was 10. She decided to stay with a different family member for Christmas, but did show up to our grandparents for Christmas Day celebrations. I was excited to see her, and thought the fact that she showed up meant she might like me now. But after I had tried talking to her, she turned on me, and said she didn't give a F about me or my life, and did not want me to know anything about hers. She called me pathetic, and asked why she would care about someone like me. She told me if she could turn back time, she would have begged for mom to have an abortion with me because I was disgusting. It was at that point where I think I hit the point where I was like, you know what? Fine. Over the last 7 years, I've seen her maybe 3 times. She avoids being where I will be, and she's made it clear to mom that if mom wants to see her, dad and I are not welcome and we're not invited into her life. Except now she's getting married and she's invited me and wanted me there because questions were asked. Mom was so happy when my half-sister told her she really wanted me there. Mom was so eager to tell me. My half-sister even showed up to invite me personally. But I told her I would not go. She explained she needed me and why, and I told her I will not make her look better by showing up. I said she wants me dead. I do not want her in my life. It's as simple as that. Mom cried that we're siblings, and I told her I lost my only sibling when my brother was stillborn. That he would have been my only sibling, because my half-sister sure as hell wasn't a sibling for me. She made it clear many times over she did not want to be. My half-sister and mom both feel I'm really in the wrong. Am I the beehole? What? Are you the beehole? No, you are not the beehole. Your half-sister is the beehole, ghoul, narcissistic, psychopathic, sociopathic beehole. I don't even know what the hell that is. And shame on your mom. Your mom, you know what? No offense to your mom, but I know she's trying to like do the, oh, we're a family. No, 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 no. Your mom needs to protect you from whatever the hell that is. I mean, holy crap. She was happy a baby was not born. Like, that's some, they make movies out of little creatures like this, and they do studies, because that right there is a monster in human clothing, in human skin. I don't even know what the hell to call that thing. And also, I'll pray for that poor soul that decided, yeah, this is the creature I'm going to marry. OP, I know you said no, but do not, I do not ever go, I know you're not going to, but do not go to that creature's wedding. Just, whoa, that thing needs whatever, OP, I don't even know, man, but you stay away from that. That thing's evil. You stay away from that thing. And our next one comes from Wrath01. Am I the beehole? Sister-in-law isn't happy with my wife for posting our pregnancy announcement 3 weeks after their miscarriage. Read the post for more information. Me and my wife have been trying for children for 3 years, with 3 miscarriages and multiple years of infertility. We started in vitro fertilization almost 6 months ago. From the initial consultation and got amazingly lucky. Our first IVF implant was a success. We've been waiting for the 16-week mark before making a public announcement in fear of losing another baby all of this time. Most people announce around 12 in the UK. Our sister-in-law is fully aware of our troubles over the last 3 years and that we are now pregnant from the IVF already. She knew this since our first test showed positive. She had said she didn't want kids for another 3 years or so when talking, but then she and her husband decided to start trying and got pregnant in their second month. Sadly, they lost their baby 2 weeks before we had our planned public announcement on social media to share our story, including the lows and what we've been through to get there. Think sort of here's the journey we've had to go on, and we want to share so people know there's hope. My wife messaged her and has been there for her to let her know we'll be posting soon, plus if we delayed it an extra week for them, so 17 weeks. Sister-in-law didn't acknowledge any message or ask us not to. The day after we posted, she bombarded my wife with, "How could you do this? You should know how it feels, and why couldn't you wait longer?" messages. I'm trying to stay out of it, but I feel like she's making us out to be the b-hole here. I was sure we did everything right, and even delayed our happy announcement longer just in case it upset them. Now I'm wondering, am I the b-hole? Edit. Acknowledging I have my wife's back, but she asked me not to get involved, and to let her talk to her sister. Trust me, I want to get involved, but it will cause more harm than good. TLDR. After 3 years of trying, multiple miscarriages, and undergoing 6 months of IVF, my wife and I were fortunate to have a successful implant. We delayed our public announcement until 17 weeks, aware of our sister-in-law's recent miscarriage. Despite her knowledge and our efforts to be considerate, she expressed anger and sadness after we shared our news. While I believe in supporting each other, I'm questioning if we did something wrong. Am I the b-hole in this situation? Hi, OP. I'm gonna go with you're not the b-hole. Congratulations on having a baby, and I'm sorry that happened to your sister-in-law. But she has to learn the world doesn't revolve around her. I thought what you guys did was great. You guys waited long. I think you waited long enough to announce, about your baby. But like I said, she can't stop you guys from, you know, announcing you have a baby. Babies are going to keep being born. Just because she knows you doesn't mean that she gets to tell you what to do. And she's going to have to just, I don't want to say get over it, deal with it, cope with it. I don't know, but you did nothing wrong. And our next one comes from Not Dropping Friend. Am I the b-hole for not dropping off my friend, resulting in her getting robbed? The other day, I, a 28-year-old male, went to a work early Christmas party, which one of my friends, a 28-year-old female, from uni, also works at the same company, was attending. At the end of the night, she asked if I could drop her to the tube station, or home since I'd come by car. I didn't drink because I was driving. I said I'm in a bit of a rush, unfortunately, and couldn't, even though in reality I could have since the tube was on the way home, and dropping her home, I wouldn't have added too much to my commute, and I was already concerned since I wasn't sure how uncomfortable my girlfriend would be with me having another girl in the car alone. She was also a little tipsy, and she's probably also not the most careful person considering she was robbed twice before in the past 5 years. Apparently, she's actually got robbed again. She was at the bus stop, and she noticed the straps of her purse had been cut off, and she was just wearing the straps with no purse. She lost her phone, cash, cards, and had to walk an hour home in heels, but luckily her flat uses a digital PIN, code, so she could get in. She seems a little cross with me now, despite not directly blaming me, but I feel like it's on her to be more careful, when I've never had an issue before. And I'm not some muscular guy. I'm 5'6", and she's 5 even. Back in uni, we used to walk together sometimes between buildings, but that was a long time ago. But in my mind, she just wanted to avoid getting hit on. But she managed to handle that herself now. Now I'm wondering, if I was the b-hole. I asked my girlfriend, and she said I should have dropped her, and she'd have no problem with it. But I didn't know at the time. At the same time, she should be taking precautions, like I knew I'd be driving so I didn't drink. She knows she had a late commute, so she should be aware of her belongings, surroundings, and not to drink so much. Hi, OP. I'm gonna say you're not the b-hole. I get it that your girlfriend said she'd be cool with it, but at the time you didn't know, and plus I don't believe in putting myself in situations like that, where people could think you're cheating on them or something like that. So I get where you're coming from there, and she's a big girl. She had to have known that yes, she'd have to get home late, and to plan for that. And it's not your fault she got robbed. If she didn't know you, she'd have to figure it out, so that means she probably would have to do the same thing, and she would have got robbed again. Well, looking down the comments, everyone's saying you're the b-hole. I still say no. I was in a situation like this kind of. She wasn't my friend, she was my coworker, and I didn't trust her, and she wanted a ride home from work, and we closed at like midnight. And I said no. Like I said, don't put yourself in situations where you can get yourself, ruined for life. I know she's your friend, but who knows how much of a friend she is? And like I said, she's grown. If she didn't know you, she'd have to figure it out. And she's gonna have to learn because you can't be there, the entire time her whole life. So no, OP. Despite what Reddit says, I'm still gonna say you're not the beehole in this situation. And our final one comes from the Babysitter 9. Am I the beehole for calling the police when the parents I babysat for were late? I, a 16-year-old female, sometimes babysit on the weekends. My mom's coworker needed a babysitter, and she gave him my number. I agreed to babysit 3 kids from 2 p.m. till 8:30 p.m. because the parents had some party to get to. It went okay, but the parents did not get back at 8:30. At 9, I tried calling him, but he didn't pick up. I texted a few times at 9:30. I tried calling again, and again at 10, and again at 10:30. I tried calling my parents, but my dad was at a work dinner, and my mom didn't pick up. I tried calling the parents of the kids again, but they still weren't picking up or responding. At 11:30ish, I called the police because I didn't know what else to do, and I was worried something might have happened to the parents too. They came, and around the same time the parents came back. The dad screamed at me, and he's still very upset. Edit, I called the police because I was worried about the parents not picking up, being late, and because I really had to get home, not to involve CPS or anything like that. Edit 2, since some people asked, I didn't call the emergency number. I'm not in the US. Police aren't violent here. And I was paid up front, so not for the extra 3 hours. Hi OP, you know what? I was thinking maybe you escalated a little too much, but it was getting later. You were supposed to be done at 8:30. It was what, midnight? Probably longer. And no call, nothing from them. I'll be 100% with you, OP. Here's what I think. They saw your call, they saw your text, but they already paid you. So they know they don't have to pay you to, go longer. So they went, let's take advantage of this little girl, or, yeah, girl, a little girl, and use her to get more time out of her that we don't have to pay for since we already paid her. I think that's what they did. And then when you call the cops and the dad started screaming at you, first of all, tell your parents that's freaking rude. A grown man shouldn't be yelling at a child for calling the police because they were negligent and didn't come home at the time they said they would and didn't give you any word about what was happening. They are the beeholes because, like I said, I really truly think they were trying to take advantage of you. And you basically called them on their BS. Wouldn't babysit for them anymore. Don't want to babysit for pricks like that. And OP, I'm sorry you went through that. But what you did was right, and if they need to pay you for the extra hours they tried to steal from you, I don't think they will, but maybe try to get your parents involved and just never babysit or deal with those people again. And before, I end this, sorry for all the noise the neighbors allowed. There's not much I can do about it. It's December, it's the festive time, people are, families coming and all that, so there might be more days like this if you heard anything. If you didn't hear anything, then ignore this part of what I'm doing here. Thank you so much for staying with me to the end of this video. Can you please do what I said in the beginning and like, comment, and subscribe? It will really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Velvet out.